Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today should be a very quick video. I wanted to hop on here and talk about my top lock regrets. We are almost 3 years in the game. I'll be 3 years in a few months. And so I feel like there are some things that I have done that I definitely regret. And we're going to talk about them so that hopefully if you are new and you're thinking about locking your hair, you will not make these same mistakes. All right, so let's get into it. Lock regret number 1. The beginning of my journey, okay, I was like, well, since I have locks now and my hair doesn't have to be like in any particular style at night, like I don't have to wrap my hair up. I don't know why. It was ignorance. It was naivety. Is that the word? It was just dumb. It was a bad thought to have. Please do not do that. You do absolutely have to wrap your hair up at night. It is imperative. It is not to preserve any type of look. It is solely to keep lint away. Lint is going to be your mortal enemy when you get locks, and I still have lint stuck in my hair from the first few months of my lock journey where I thought that I genuinely did not have to wrap my hair up at night. Lock regret number 2 is the amount of braid outs that I did in the very beginning of my journey. So when you first put your twists in, or your comb coils, or your braids, right, whatever way you decide to start your locks, when you first put it in, you want your hair to kind of shrink and expand and form that lock matrix. So like the action of something of hair becoming locked is to shrink on itself, coil around itself, and make some type of matrix, like an interwoven matrix. This process will be slowed down if you're constantly stretching your hair via braid outs, right? So I was doing a braid out every other day because I liked the way that braid outs looked on me. Every other day is an exaggeration. It was like every other week. Either way, I liked the way that braid outs looked. And so I was constantly doing these braid outs, stretching my hair out and slowing down the locking process. My hair probably would have been fully locked a lot sooner if I had just held out on the braid outs for the first like 6 to 10 months. Lock regret number 3. This is a big one. I have been so guilty of retightening my hair too tight. There is nothing inherently wrong with retightening, but there is something very wrong with retightening your hair too tight. And I was like obsessed with getting these perfect parts and having the retightening last really long and having these really crisp, neat lines, that I was willing to retighten my hair so tight that I literally could not get another rotation through if I tried. And there were times where I would get tension bumps all over my head. My hair would be sore. The part would hurt even after my hair had grown out. Even after I had an inch of new growth, my parts would still kind of like hurt where the part was put in too tight. And you know, that type of stuff, that has long-term effects, and I'm sure I will be suffering the consequences at some point in time for the amount of times that I retighten my hair just way too tight. I don't know when I will be suffering those consequences, but I know that I'm gonna get my comeuppance pretty soon. Luckily, my hair right now, I don't feel any thinning. I don't notice any thinning yet. Keyword yet. But like I said, just don't do it. Don't play with your fate that way. Don't retighten too tight. Lock regret number 4. I actually regret my color. Let me talk about it. So I just did this color, not even a full 2 months. Well, actually, no, a full 2 months ago now. And the rationale was, so I love black hair and I'm going to dye my hair a permanent black someday. And people are like, oh, don't do permanent black because it's so hard to go light after you dye your hair permanent black. And so I was like, oh, no problem. I'll just go light first, get it out of my system, and then go permanent black. That way, you know, the itch is scratched. And I don't know. I guess I should have just followed my gut. I always loved dark hair, deep dark black hair, And I shouldn't have taken a detour to it. You know, like I shouldn't have let people kind of get into my head and convince me that I wanted lighter hair when I genuinely did not. I mean, don't get me wrong, the color is cute. It's nice. It's been a nice little summer color, but I already want to go back to black. And so it just is not worth it to me to dye your hair, to subject your hair to harsh chemicals if you're only gonna be into the style for maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. I mean, now just out of stubbornness, I'm gonna keep my hair brown probably for at least a total of 6 months, so probably another 4 months. But I would have preferred to just go straight to black. I wouldn't have had to expose my hair to harsh chemicals, and I would have gotten the look I was going for. So far, I haven't noticed any damage, but again, it's only been 2 months. I would check back in at 6 months, and I think by that time, if damage is going to pop up, I'll start to see I'll start to see it creep up at the 6-month mark. But I think me saying, oh, the dye didn't damage my hair and I'm only 2 months out, that's a little disingenuous, and it's also just not representative of like when the damage typically shows up anyway. So I'm not gonna make any assertions at this very moment. Lock regret number 5. I regret going stretches where I just neglected my hair. Mind you, I started medical school last year. So I'm a rising second year medical student. Medical school was very rough. And you know, I had every reason to maybe neglect my hair here and there. But there were like month-long stretches where I just did not moisturize my hair. I didn't care for it. I didn't wash it, whatever. And I do regret doing that. Yes, the steam treatments that I've done this past summer have really helped. Yes, doing my routine consistently kind of gets me back to baseline, but I know that my hair is not as soft as it was, say, 2 years ago before I started to neglect it. So, you know, consistency will always win. Consistency beats out any product. It beats out any special routine, any hair mask, whatever. Consistency will always come out on top. And so I just regret not being as consistent as I should with moisturizing my hair and keeping it nice and soft. I mean, it is still soft. It's just not that kind of like pillow soft that it started. Okay, y'all, that is it. That's my list. My top 5 lock regrets in my first, 2 years and, I don't know how many months, 2 years, 10 months, 2 years, 9 months of this journey. I'm sure I will think of some as soon as I stop recording, but those are definitely the top 5. Let me know down below kind of like what your biggest hair regrets are and if you would add anything to my list. All right, that's it for today. Told you it'd be a short one. Have a good one. And if you're on the fence about locking your hair, do it, sis, or bro. I mean, I don't know who's watching this, but do it. You won't regret it. It's outside of these regrets I have, it's been smooth sailing. So do it. All right, bye.